It's December 18th, 2025, 6:45 p.m. I need a fucking haircut. I need to shave. You can see my face. It's dark. You can't really see me. So I apologize for that. But this is all about the message. I haven't posted in a while. I only have a few videos on my channel because I'm very busy. I'm a Forex trader. And the title of this video is Shut the Fuck Up and Trade. The title of the video is Shut the Fuck Up and just fucking trade. That's it. Just shut the fuck up and trade, man. Learn. Just fucking learn. I have a lot of stuff on my mind. You know? It's because of, and I just wanted to go for a walk and talk and freestyle this thing and just, just get some stuff off my mind that I think that there's a lot of people out there that's struggling with trading, no matter if you're trading options, no matter if you're trading stocks, no matter if you're trading bonds, Forex, whatever instrument you're trading. Just shut the fuck up and trade. All you fucking gurus, shut the fuck up and trade. Stop selling people shit. Stop fucking trying to drive content into these sorry ass offshore brokerages that as soon as, you put a trade in, whether you put in a single leg or a hedge, the first thing you do is they bet right against you. They trade right against your position. We all know what's going on. You guys are muddling up the fucking game, man. You're muddying up the waters. You're bastardizing the game. All of you. And the reason why I have this frustration and the reason why I'm making this video tonight on my little neighborhood walk. I live in a fucking, in a working class neighborhood, North Georgia, about 40 miles outside downtown Atlanta. I'm from Gwinnett, all right? I'm from Gwinnett. I'm from Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Been on Jimmy Carter Boulevard my whole life, exit 99 to be exact. Pleasantdale Road, all of that. I'm right there at Spaghetti Junction. That's where I was raised. But yeah, this video is shut the fuck up and trade. Because for some reason, the YouTube algorithm is flooding my feed with all of these guru videos. I don't buy anybody's program. I don't pay for anybody's fucking Discord. I don't do any of that shit. There's no need to do any of that shit. Get the fucking education. Sit back, stop drinking, stop smoking. If you want to get some money and you want to be a part of the biggest cash business in the world, this shit is better than opening up your own business. It's better than working 3, 4, fucking 5 jobs. It's better than all that shit. But you have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice your time. You have to sacrifice some money. You have to learn. You have to learn on your own. Trading and finance, investing, that whole macroeconomic environment, it's a language. It's a language. Now, let's not mix any words. I'm freestyling this video because I just got frustrated today, as I'm watching my charts, and I like to entertain myself with YouTube in the background, as my background noise. I'll watch, World War II videos, and, I'll watch, Pop the Balloon, and I'll watch certain things and keep shit going in the background for me so to break the monotony, because there's no sound when you're trading. The charts don't make any sounds unless you're actually putting in trades and, getting out of trades. But, and excuse me, like I said, it's dark. It's about damn near 7 o'clock East Coast time. I decided to make this video before before the BOJ meeting tonight. So I trade US dollar versus yen. That's my instrument. That's the primary thing that I focus on when I trade. So that's my primary focus, USD JPY. And that's the instrument that I am attempting to master before moving on to other instruments. And I have been trading USD JPY for about 3 straight years. This year, about 2 months ago, I decided that it was time for me to start trading full time. And, I decided that it was time for me to really put both my feet in the game after about 14 years of, having one foot in and one foot out. But this is a billionaire's game. This is a big pond. This is a big world that you're trying to live in when you're trading and when you're involved in investing and, just the whole world of finance. That's why it's called the world of finance. Yeah, man, I got frustrated today. Because these gurus keep popping up on my fucking feed on YouTube, and, gurus that would tell you all this get rich quick bullshit. It's all bullshit. You're not going to learn trading in 60 days. You're not going to learn trading in 60 minutes. You're not going to learn how to trade in fucking a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. You're not. There's fucking dudes right now. There's guys and girls right now that have been trading since the fucking 1980s. And they still wake up every single day and watch charts every day. I want this fucking video right here to reach as many people that need to hear this truth as possible. I'm going to cover some topics. This might be a long video. You might have to sit down and watch it in pieces. I'm not going to edit this motherfucker. I'm not going to do anything. I might pause it. It's raining a little bit out here. This is Georgia rain. I love Georgia rain. Except for when it's one of those fucking sloshy days, where it rains, fucking for 4-5 days straight in a straight slosh. So I hope this video finds whoever needs to see this message, because this is a real message. This is not a fake message. This is my little area right here. Somebody's trying to cross through my little area, but they can't get through here. So listen, I'm going to make some recommendations to you right now. Okay? You need to study John Murphy. Okay? Technical analysis of the financial markets. That's the Bible. Put your King James Version down. Okay? I'm pretty sure you have studied the King James Version up and down, through and through. You know the scriptures, you know everything. Your faith is intact, your spirituality is intact. You know who your Lord is, you know who your Savior is. I get that. Okay, God created money. God created finance. God put this paper on the earth so that you can sustain a high quality of life. That's the reason for money. Money is not the root of all evil. The root of all evil is sin. The root of all evil is disobedience. That is the root of all evil. Money is not the root of all evil. So it's okay to get some money. It's okay to get big paper. You don't have to be fucking poor. You don't have to work a job. You don't just have to be a normie. You don't have to just be, a person in society that just, just gets along to get along, and that, you don't have to be a person like that. I'm going to just stand still right now because it started to rain a little bit. And I mean, damn, I thought I was going to miss it because it was already wet out here. But it's okay because I want the air. I've been on my charts for fucking weeks and weeks and weeks straight. And I don't get out too much because I'm trying to pull $1 billion or $2 billion out of this thing. That's the first book that you need to study. And when I say study, I mean devour, ingest, poop it out, pick the book up again, mark it up, annotate it. You understand? Get it. The first book that I ever studied was Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets, John Murphy. Okay? That's going to give you all of your chart analysis, your line chart analysis, your candlestick chart analysis. It's going to give you everything. It is the Bible of the financial markets. It's the Bible of it. I studied that book over and over and over again. That's the beginning of learning the language. You know, trading and investing and being in this game is like learning a new foreign language. It's like learning a foreign language. And until you can speak the language eloquently, fluently, and understand it, you know, on a sophisticated level and the lowest level, which I would consider a slang level, you know, that's like speaking a language thoroughly, full, through and through. When you know the slang and you know how to, you know, be completely intellectual and eloquent with, you know, speaking the language. That's trading and that's investing. That's the entire macro, you know, economic environment. So that's the first thing I'm gonna tell you. Okay, and then there's another author that I studied. His name is John Person. John Person wrote several books, and I think he's a commodities trader, you know, from the early 80s. These guys are bosses. These guys are bosses. These guys were in the pits. You got to stop learning from these fucking goombas that just started trading in 2019, just started trading in 2021, 2022, 2023. You understand? These are fucking idiots. These people are fucking idiots. These people, they jump in, they treat it like a video game. They really don't know anything about fundamental analysis. They don't know really anything about technical analysis. They don't use indicators on their charts. They don't understand indicators. They don't understand a fucking thing. What they're doing is they're trying to steer you. They're steerers. They're not seers, they're steerers. Okay? These fucking people steer you into some fucking brokerage, or they have a brokerage agreement where they are an ambassador, a broker ambassador, you know, some bullshit like that, where, you know, the amount of people that they steer into the brokerage, you know, they get a certain percentage off whatever the losses that accumulate, whatever, what the fuck ever. I don't really fucking know, but I understand why these people are out here doing this stuff. You got to learn from the pit bosses. You got to learn from the guys that were screaming out buy and sell orders. You know, understand? That were taking the orders. You got to understand market makers. You got to learn from these people like this. John Murphy, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets. Go get all the books that John Person wrote, because I studied all of his books. I don't have the actual names of the books off the top of my head, but I studied all of them. I think it's about 4 that he has authored, and they are just the, you understand, they are the chef's kiss of trading and information. You want to get your information from the 80s and the 70s when the pits were alive. This is the information that you want to learn. You don't want to learn this new electronic information. The electronic age is just for execution. The electronic age is not for learning. You can execute better in these day and times. Yeah, that's what the electronics are for. That's what this high speed, you know, trading and high speed market execution. And it used to be like T3, T4. Now it's like T0. You understand? It's like settlement is right now. You know, settlement is same day before a certain time, or T1 for a lot of instruments. This is what you want. You want information that comes from a long time ago, because that's the organic information. You have to plant that seed, and you have to, you know, water that seed. And, you know, plants don't grow off piss. Plants grow from water. You understand? And sunlight and, those natural organic nutrients. That's what trading is. And that's what this fucking money game is. You have to get it organically. You got to take time out of your busy schedule, your fictitious life, your events, and you got FOMO and you can't not be here and you can't not be there. You might be a fun dummy, and you got people who are just pulling you left and right. You really want to go straight, but you got people pulling you this way and pulling you that way, and because you the life of the party, but you really trying to get your shit together. Get your fucking shit together. Get your motherfucking shit together. Stop doing this and stop doing that. Stop doing broke activities. Stop doing broke people shit. That's the problem. And I have no doubt that there are these fucking gurus out here that do know how to execute a trade, but they don't know anything about managing the trade. They don't know anything about scaling in. They don't know anything about scaling out. They don't know anything about fundamental analysis. They don't know how to read data sets that come out. They don't know shit. They know how to get in, take a good guess based off of a video that they watched from some other Goomba motherfucker. And, that's what they do. So, another book I studied, and don't mind me, I'm going off on tangents and I might bounce around. I have this communication dyslexia is what I call it. I'll go from this area to that area, but my train of thought is always going to come back to what my main message and the way I'm going. I'm going to get there, but this is how I communicate. All right. I call it communication dyslexia. Another author, Dan, what's his name? Let me look it up on my phone. Dan Passarelli. He wrote an options book. This is the options Bible that I studied over and over and over and over and over. I annotated Dan Passarelli's book. It's a blue book. I think it's called The Options Trader. It's like a blue book. It has a blue, paper cover on it, but it's a hardback book. That's the third book that I studied. I studied the entire John Person series. I studied John Murphy's book over and over and over. I studied John Person's books over and over and over and over and over multiple times. I studied Dan Passarelli's Options Bible book. It's called let me see. Show me books written by Dan Passarelli. What's going on? I think it's called The Options Trader or something like that. But you'll see it because it's like one of the only books he wrote. It's the Options Bible. It's the Bible on options. You know why I studied that book? Because once I got through with John Person's series and I saw how the Commodity Futures Trading Commission and, all of these different governing bodies that he spoke about in his series of books, all of these different governing bodies, I saw how they regulate this thing. I saw how they regulate this game. And I figured that options outside of trading stocks, learning that you have to maintain a $25,000 account balance, minimum, no matter what your position sizes are, trading stocks, I figured, man, you really have to be like a multi-millionaire, plenty of times over to really get the real full effect of trading stocks. Stock trading is not for the poor. Stock trading is not for the rich. Stock trading is for the wealthy. That's why you have this proliferation of so many, what they call those prop firms. I don't use those either. You have so many fucking prop firms everywhere popping up because these guys have billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of capital. You understand, where they don't care charging you $200, $150 or $50 for these different tiered challenges, and they give you access to money. but you're not getting a live data feed. You're really trading those prop firms, and you're trading on you're not trading a simulated account, but you're literally trading delayed data, because to have real time up to the fucking millisecond data, it costs money for these brokerages. If you're trading stocks on the stock market, on the NASDAQ, all of these different indexes, man, listen, you want up to the millisecond. You understand? You want that lightning fast speed. You don't get that trading those prop firms. Don't let them fool you. Okay? So you're not trading a simulated account, but you're trading a quasi-simulated data feed. And they give you access to this capital and stuff like that, to trade futures and to trade all this other different garbage. So I studied the options Bible. I studied the options book written by Dan Passarelli, because options gives you the same leverage as Forex. And I'm going to get into my Forex story in just a minute, and why I decided to go from options to Forex. But I still understand options is a viable game. Options is a big boy game. Options, you'll become a boss trading options too. But you got to fucking study, because you literally want to understand every possible leg and every possible strategy and every possible, different formulation of these spreads that you can put together to make money off of your options. You want to have inventory, and that's the first thing you got to understand about options. Most of these guys, when they teach you options and they speak about options, they're all fucking trading deep out of the money. They're way outside the money, and they're just gambling. When you're way outside the money, you're gambling. If you're trading at the money or in the money, or you understand, one outside the money, one strike outside the money, then that's cool. Like a strike above, a strike below, or at the money. You understand? There's brokerages that won't let you trade at the money. Robinhood won't let you trade at the money. Robinhood will let you trade one outside, up or down. You understand? And that's how you can trade on Robinhood. So if you're really trying to be an options gamer, if you're really trying to be in the options game, Robinhood is okay, but you have to go to a broker where you're going to have to pay a commission. You're going to have to pay a small fee. That way you can trade at the money. The at the money strike is the best strike to trade. Just simple as that. Or if you have the money, you trade in the money. 1 or 2 strikes in the money. You don't want to go too deep in the money, because it kind of, you have these different things which are called the Greeks. You have them, and they'll work against you if you're too deep in the money or if you're too far outside the money. So I studied Dan Passarelli's book multiple times. I studied it so much, and I annotated that book so many fucking times, so much that I had to buy the book again to get a clear study of it again, like on the 8th time I studied it. And this is just my process. This was my process, because I'm not one of them guys that chases this. I don't chase a lifestyle. I chase money. I chase freedom. And the only way that you're going to be free in America, or in the world for that matter, is if you got big paper. You are not going to be, nothing else is freedom except for big paper. You got to have money to be free, because money allows you the opportunity to make your own decisions and to move how you want to move. It's just as simple as that. So that's the other book that I studied. And that is just a small, because I studied financial dictionaries front to back multiple times, annotating them, learning the language, learning the words, learning all the nuances, and learning everything that I could learn. I studied so fucking much. And I'm a guy where I'm a processing kind of person. I process. So what I do is, as a man, I'm strategic naturally. Men are born with strategy, because before anybody was on earth, the men were on earth. And the only thing we were on earth doing was tilling the earth, and we were at war, fighting over territory and planting our flags and, you know, doing all of the things and like following the instructions directly from God. You know, God gave man the game directly. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. God gave man the game directly. You understand? This is why we're built with all of the things that we're built with. You understand? So I'm not even going to go into that because I don't want to sound misogynist or sexist or whatever. But one thing is for certain, my strategy and my process is I like to master one issue at a time. I master one issue at a time. I'm not one of those people that like to be all over the fucking place. I don't want to be all over the place. I want to master something, get it, understand it fully and thoroughly. That way it answers all of the questions on the next thing or the next subject matter that I choose to master. So by mastering and studying and digesting and ingesting and digesting John Murphy's book, The Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets, once I moved on to John Person's series of books, and, you know, he's a commodity trader. So the language that he's talking is not a broken down language like John Murphy's book. John Murphy's book was meant to break it down to the novice. It was a layman's book. But John Person's book is not a layman's book. It's a book written by a high professional to sharpen other high professionals. So that first book answered the questions that I had in the next book. And then when I found the next book by John Person, it answered the questions. So as you go on with this strategic thing, this strategic studying process, you are able to answer questions without having to seek different, okay, I gotta go here, I gotta go here, I gotta go here, I gotta go here. You don't wanna be like, you know, a scrambled egg. You don't wanna be all over the place trying to pull in information. And that's what the internet does these days. And that's what these fucking goofy gurus out here are doing. They're pulling you and they're taunting you with thumbnails that's pretty and you can learn this in 60 days. If you got $20, they done broke this shit down to $20. What the fuck you gonna do with $20 in the market? They have broken this thing down to $20. I see these commercials now on YouTube where they're telling older people, you can learn trading, you can start trading today with $20. There's no fucking way, man. There's no fucking way. Stop listening to these fucking people. Get your own education. In your spare time, when you're not working and you're not dealing with your children, or if you're not dealing with your mate, your spouse, your significant other, or your life just in general, and you have time to study, utilize that time to study. Because the game is real. It's not rigged, it's real. You know, it's these people out here today that's bastardizing the game, and they're rigging the game. You understand? Because they're giving you all this information, and they're pulling and tugging you in each and every different way. And you're doing this what he say, you're doing what he say, you're doing what he say, you're doing what she say, you're doing what she say, you're doing what she say. And guess what? You have no strategy at all. You haven't mastered anything. You won't pick a fucking book up. If you haven't read a book from cover to cover in your life, which I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people who haven't read a real high intellectual book from cover to fucking cover in their life, you should start there, because everybody wants to make money. Start with those books. Okay? So let me move on to Forex. Let me run back through that real fast. You got John Murphy, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets. Okay? It's a black book. It's the Bible of the game. And then I studied the books by John Person. Okay? And then I went to Dan Passarelli. Okay? Because in the stock market game, options is it. Options is it. If and when or until you become, a multi-millionaire or billionaire where you can build up an inventory of stocks, or you can trade a position of stocks where You can buy 1,000 shares, 100 shares, 200 shares, no less than 100 shares of whatever you're trying to trade. If you want to day trade stocks, that would be the way that I would, that would be the way that I would go with trading stocks. I would deal with the options because they're leveraged and you don't have to have the full amount of owning the actual individual stock. All right. And they're cash. Well, they're not all cash settled. Like the SPX is the one that's cash settled. But you'll learn all of these different little, nuances and, intricacies as you study. So I'm going to make my point. And then, like I said, those are the books that I study. And that's the way I went with the actual stock market. So what pushed me and drove me into, and I have a much deeper story about all of this stuff. What pushed me and drove me into Forex is the market capital or the liquidity that's being traded in the markets on a daily basis. So once through my studies, I found out that the stock market trades about $515 billion, $515.5 billion on a daily basis of liquidity. And then I found out that the Forex market trades $7.6 trillion on a daily basis of trading liquidity. That was enough for me. That was my sign where I'm like, shit, all the money is in Forex. That's where I need to be at because it gives you a greater opportunity to make money. Think about this. You're battling as a retail trader, as a broke motherfucker, as a motherfucker trying to come up and get their paper right. You know, understand? You don't have 20, 30, 40, 50 million, $100 million. You know what I'm saying? You don't got no bread like that. So as a motherfucker trying to get their money right, you understand? You a guppy, you a minnow. You're like a quark. That's how small you are in these games. A lot of the movement is gonna go against you. So you think, especially if you don't have a viable strategy. A lot of the movement is going to go against you. You're going to get frustrated, things like that. You're going to take a lot of losses. So if I'm going to go through that, if I'm going to go through all of that stress, I'd rather go through that stress in the Forex game because I have a greater chance of a lot more smaller wins that will equal out to, some bigger wins. As I'm reinvesting my money and, not pulling my money off my account, not blowing my account, shit like that. So that's what drove me into Forex. I heard a brother online one day explaining something about Forex, and I was all over the place with Forex when I started trading Forex. I was searching out instruments, I was trading oil, I was doing offshore brokerages. They were trading against me. One time I was trading with a broker that was based in the Seychelles off the coast of Africa. And I can't remember the name of the motherfucking brokerage, but it was in the Seychelles, right? Man, it was like every time I would put in an order, this was a long time ago. Every time I would put in an order, that motherfucker would go the opposite direction. If I put in a hedge, it would just stay still. It wouldn't do anything. Like it would literally just no movement at all. So I learned after about $6,000, I'm like, fuck, I can't fucking trade. I can't trade these fucking offshore brokerages. Yeah, I had to pause for the car. Somebody was walking down on me. Just some old Indian man. This is a working class, upscale neighborhood. There's a little bit of traffic right now on the main road because everybody's trying to make their way home on this, wet night. So, yeah. So, I was all over the place. I was using all kind of fucking offshore brokers that was giving you 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 to 1 leverage. You understand? That shit ain't good, man. That shit ain't good. I'm just going to keep it all the way G with everybody. I'm speaking my language. I come from the streets. I used to be a bad boy, man. I used to be a bad boy. I didn't grow up going to Harvard. I had to take myself through Harvard. I had to take myself through Yale and Brown and Columbia. All of the business schools that are top ranked in America, I literally had to do that shit myself. I had to sit down and take myself through that shit, for multiple years. I had to go to B school on my own. I had to invest in myself. I had to buy books. I had to understand that, I love money. I love the energy that you got to put into getting money. I want to live a high quality of life, but I can't do it in the underworld. I can't continue to do it in the underworld. Look at my face. I got shot all in my face right here. I've been through a lot of stuff, man, So, so I had to take myself through, I had to take myself through business school on my own, and I had to extract that shit, man. And it took me about 10 years to really study. And I'm not saying it's going to take I'm not saying that's what you got to put in, but that's what I put in. I put in years and years and years of studying and trading and losing money, So I was getting it that way. I was getting it, studying and losing at the same time. And that's what drove me to Forex, was the fact that it was a bigger game. It was more liquidity on a daily basis. Me being a minnow or a quark, the smallest known form of atom, of materialism, a quark, right? I had to attach myself to the whale that was going to eat all day. So, as long as I stay attached to the whale that's got all the food, I know I'm going to just grow and grow and grow and get bigger and bigger and stronger. And then once I'm able to detach myself, I can start eating of the nutrients of the sea. So that's what the Forex is. The Forex is just a massive body of water with nothing but gigantic beings in it, and they're all eating. And so what I did was, I was listening to a brother, I'm not going to say his name because I saw some stuff about him online a few days ago, and it kind of upset me a little bit, but he does give good information. And I don't buy into people's stuff, but if they say something and it piques my interest, I'll go investigate it for myself. So, but he said study UJ. UJ is US dollar versus JPY. And the way he was explaining UJ and how UJ moves in such a manner that you're able to catch 100, points, 150, 200, 300 point candles on a daily basis. Some days it'll be 50. It'll move 50. It'll move in an indecisive doji, but you can still trade a 50-point candle, like 50 points. So UJ actually offers better range of movement, better opportunity on a daily basis. So I jumped into UJ after trying to deal with all these offshore brokers and doing all my research and this, that, and the third, and watching offshore brokers take off and run off with people's money, and just all kind of shit. That shit is a wild, wild west, man. If you're trading using an offshore broker, you're a fucking idiot. Like, in my opinion, don't believe none of these guys that say that they got millions and millions and millions of dollars socked away in offshore brokers. They don't. They either have that money repatriated in their accounts, they're paying taxes on it, or they're not paying taxes on it, or they only have a small account with those offshore brokers and they're losing. They're losing. You understand? So what I did was I did my research, and I found out that, the US, this was many years ago. I did my research and I found out that US brokers don't offer, the leverage that offshore brokers offer. They only offer is 50-1. And depending on what instrument you trade, you're not getting that 50-1. Right now, with my broker, and I'm going to plug all the brokers, the only 3 brokers in America that allow you to trade Forex. Now, as far as like stocks and, trading options and stuff like that, it's an innumerable amount of trusted U.S. regulated brokers. You can't go wrong in the stock market. Whatever instrument you choose to trade on an in and out basis, you can't go wrong because they're all regulated. They're all trusted. So, they can't fuck over your money. But in the Forex game, there's only 3 regulated brokers where if they fuck over your bread, you can get your bread back. I'll plug them right now. The first one is Oanda. It's Oanda. It's like the U.S. Oanda, not the Great Britain Oanda, because you can't even open an account, and like they have a whole prop firm arm that they don't allow you to use in the United States. You see what I'm saying? The United States is a bad motherfucker. This is a regulated country, and they really want you to really work really hard in this country to get your money up. Like, you're gonna work hard as a motherfucker over here to get your money up. Other countries don't have the government, and they don't have the laws, and they don't have the structure that we have. So these people need a lot of help. So they do allow a lot of unregulated shit to go on. But in this country, you're gonna get your money right because they have a tax structure that you're gonna follow. So you got Oanda, O-A-N-D-A, Oanda. You have Forex.com, and you have TastyFX. Those are the only 3 United States brokerages for trading Forex. So for all of you who are watching this video, and I appreciate your time, but you're not gonna get this real nowhere else. On the whole YouTube, you're not gonna get this real. They're gonna tell you it's real, but it's not real. There's a caveat, and there's some driving, there's some steering going on. I'm not steering you nowhere. I'm steering you into getting your money right. I'm steering you into putting in the hard work that nobody's gonna see. The hard, frustrating, mind-boggling, migraine-inducing work that it takes to understand a game that has been around for, since we was picking cotton. This finance game, we built the finance game as black people. They built it off our backs. They built it off our bodies, literally, and they built it off the commodities that we were pulling from the earth. That's how this whole entire, global economy started, was from slavery, from the United States slaves. That's how the whole thing started. So make no mistake about that. So those are the 3 regulated brokers. I use TastyFX. I had Forex.com, but I took so long after I traded and blew up my account a few times. I took so long to redeposit my money into the account. They closed it and they won't give me another one back. So I'll wait a few years and I'll try to reapply for another one, or I'll just fly up to New York and I'll go sit down with account managers and stuff like that face to face and see if Forex.com, because to me, Forex.com is the broker that's going to give you the full range of the candle. It's going to give you the full range of the price that is going to be quoted. TastyFX gives you probably about 15% less of the full range that you'll see trading with Forex.com. And Oanda is going to give you probably 30% less of the full range that you'll see on Forex.com. This is just being honest. This is full transparency. I don't work for TastyFX. They don't endorse me. I don't endorse them. I'm not their ambassador. I'm just letting you know that I blew my account a few times with Forex.com. I took a long motherfucking time to put money back on there. And when I did try to deposit money back on there, they hit me with an email and, they pretty much had closed my accounts. So it was okay. But TastyFX was the next best thing I know to use. So I get pretty good trades with TastyFX. You understand? It takes a longer, you actually, listen, your entries are going to have to be spot on. Your entry is going to have to be spot on with TastyFX to really, you know what I'm saying? And then that shit, like with all trading, the shit moves slow. But you got to understand your trading plan. You have to trust your trading plan. You have to have a strategy. You have to have things in place. You have to have rules. You have to follow your rules. Don't break your rules. All of this stuff, man. All of this stuff. So those are the 3 regulated brokers, right? So that's what I do. And the videos that I do, the few videos that I do have on YouTube, I'm not trying to steer anybody anywhere. I'm just giving you the game. You know, this thing is about giving you the game. The more smart money that enters the market, the more liquidity that enters the market, and the more opportunities people have to make money instead of steering people. And what I'm saying right now, the soliloquy that I'm going to just spew out now is pretty much the purpose of me making this long video. All right? You got to understand something. When smart money is in the market, it gives all of the market liquidity. You want to add smart liquidity to the market. You don't want to just have motherfuckers in the market throwing a hard-earned capital into this motherfucker, blowing their account, just taking losses, one win out of 30 losses, you know, and the one win that they have don't even make up for 2 losses. You don't want to have that, man. And this is the bastardization that is going on in trading right now. You guys are bastardizing this shit, man. And you're making it a fucking dirty game. You're making it a dirty game. Real people, real monsters built this game. They didn't build this game for you fucking goombas to come in with all of your hustle tactics and all of this bullshit and all of these lies and all of this steerage and all of this get rich quick bullshit, all of this fucking, you know, ambassador bullshit. They didn't build this shit for that shit, man. They built this shit to get money. They built this shit so you don't have to go out here and get a business loan to try to run a business where you have to rely on the finicky nature of customers. You know, you'll be hot today and then for 6 months you're not hot, and you know, all of these bills and all of this overhead and all. There's no fucking overhead when you trade. You need internet access. You can go to Starbucks. You can go to the fucking library. You could trade anywhere. There's virtually zero overhead trading. And you're in the biggest game. I don't care if you got 50 McDonald's. I don't care if you got 75 fucking businesses. I don't care if you got 50 fucking bank accounts. You ain't making no kind of money. You're capped. You're capped. You got overhead. You got fees. You got all kind of bullshit in your structure that's going to keep you capped, and it's going to hold you from really, you know, creating that wealth that you want to create for generations to come. This is why the game was created. The game was created to allow the everyday smoking Joe and everyday Judy Jane to get big money, create generational wealth, give themselves an opportunity to live a higher quality of life by studying and fully understanding the language of global finance. That was the reason why the game was created. They took it from a level where you couldn't play, and they opened it up to where you can play, to where you can, you know, have confidence, and to where you can get in and, okay, now I got it, you know, damn, this is better than going to work a fucking job for 16 hours a day. And you waiting 2 weeks and like, goddamn, you done put in $65,000 of work. You've generated $60, $70, $80, $90,000 for a company that's only paying you a fucking tenth of a fraction of what you've made for them. Because that's literally what's happening. This is my problem with the bastardization of trading. People have soured to it. People look at you funny and they think you're a scammer. They think you're trying to push a scam on them because they have been scammed. They have been strayed. They have been run amok. They've been bamboozled. They have been all of these things. And it's not right. It's not right. You know, and it has to stop. It has to stop. For real. My advice to everybody that's trading and that is learning how to trade, stop trading. Stop trading. Pick an instrument. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. I don't care what you're doing, whether it be stock side or Forex side. Pick something, watch that motherfucker. If you want to study Japanese candle charts, get Japanese candle chart books. There's a wonderful author. Excuse my language. There's a wonderful author that writes Japanese candle chart books. His name is Steve Nison, Nison. Steve Nison. I've studied his books on Japanese candle charts, and he takes you through the plethora of, formations and patterns and all of this shit, man. Study. Get the game for yourself. If you're trading and you're going to work and you're losing your money, stop trading and study. Build up the confidence of understanding the language. Build up the confidence of learning how to incorporate fundamental analysis into your technical analysis. You can't just be a chart technician without understanding macroeconomic data. It's impossible. It's impossible. Learn how to understand and, dissect macroeconomic data, because the macroeconomic data is what moves the charts. The charts are not fucking moving because it's magic. The charts are moving because the information that is being disseminated to the public globally. The charts are not moving because, you got dickheads, back and forth saying, no, I want this price, and no, I'm gonna sell it to you for this price. Now I'll buy it at this price. No, it's not it's driven by fundamental data. It's driven by information. That's what drives prices. Okay? I don't care what you're doing. Just stop. Just take a break. Take a break. Make 2026 your year that you say, I'm going to study certain books, this amount of books, or this author, this right here, I trust this, and study reputable books, study reputable stuff. Do a small background check. The internet is the information highway. That's what it was created for. It was created for you to find out information without having to go to the fucking library and dig through index cards. Find out these authors' background. My recommendation, this is me steering you into something that I found was the most helpful thing that I could do. I vetted the authors that I chose to study from. I chose to learn from the people who were in the pits. The pits were where the money was made. The guys that were literally in the pits, the guys that have these certifications, the guys that are being mentioned by other top traders. Those are the guys who I decided, if I study something, if I listen to somebody, I'm listening to the guys who've been in the game for 40 and 50 fucking years. Longer than I've been alive. You understand? Those are the guys that I decided. Those are the guys that I recommend you learn from. You can't learn anything from somebody who's been fake trading for 4 years. You can't. You can't. I don't give a fuck who it is. And let me tell you something, man. These people on YouTube, listen, these people are fake, man. These people are fake. These people don't have no kind of history. They don't have any kind of real experience. They don't have shit, man. They just talking. They just talking, man. They just talking a hole in their head, man, for real. And just blowing smoke up your ass. Just trying to earn some money. YouTube pays. They doing it for clicks and views and trying to get a YouTube check because they some lazy motherfuckers that don't want to read, that don't want to study, and that won't shut the fuck up. And that's what it's all about, man. They get pretty. They got an iPhone. They got 2 phones. They got this. They got that. They got the equipment. And it's easy, man. It's easy. Think about it. YouTube is global. YouTube is global. It might not be in every country because a lot of countries have, censorship laws, but YouTube is global. Think about that. If the people who I'm trying to swindle, if I'm trying to make my money, it's just like a business. Your business is confined by the people that are in the area. That's why in business, it's all about what they say, location, location, location. So if your location on YouTube is, well, fuck, I can start a YouTube business and be a content creator and I'm pushing my shit to the masses, you know, why not do it? It's easy to do it. It's easy to drive money to you when you have, you know, 5, 6, 700 million people as potential customers. So my message is stop trading. Kick back, go to work, stop with the broke shit. Stop doing broke shit. Just because you have the cash and you see something you want it, you don't have to have that shit. You don't have to buy every fucking thing you see. That's people's greatest problem. America does this to us though. America does this. America does this with products. It does this with services. It does this with food, especially with food. You understand? You got so many motherfuckers out here, man, that got a refrigerator and cabinets full of food to eat. And they'll stop at a fucking nasty ass restaurant and go get some shit that was dipped in some, you know, 20-day-old grease and get that shit fried up and eat that shit. Like eating trash, you know, instead of going home, sitting down, washing your fucking hands, washing your ass from work and cooking you a meal and, you know, doing it like that. Like, stop doing broke shit. Just because you have the money to do something doesn't mean you can afford it. You motherfuckers out here doing broke shit. Y'all motherfuckers is, instead of like, you're putting yourself in a position in America now where you're going to be working at 70 and 80 and damn near 90 years old. You understand? Because you want to live your life to the fullest in your 20s. Your 20s is for getting money. Your 20s are for you to get money and build your life. You're not in your prime. You don't know shit in your 20s. You don't know shit. That's when your mistakes are being made. But would you rather be making mistakes that are easily recoverable from, or would you rather be making mistakes where you steady going on a trip and you steady motherfucking got to be tripping here and tripping there and going here and going there just because Instagram is showing you that this is what other folks is doing? You don't even know. Man, I see people, man, listen. I see people that are going on a trip and they was on a trip 5 years ago and they only released this certain subset of pictures from that trip. And they'll release certain subsets of that one fucking trip over the course of 5 years. They'll release these pictures. Man, these people are fucking vicious, man. This is a very trickery, diabolical world that we live in. And everybody's fucking lying. Everybody flogging, man. Everybody flogging. Everybody lying to kick it. Everybody fake, man. Everybody's fake. Stop being a faker. Stop being a faker. Stop wearing all this fake ass jewelry. Stock your money up. Go get you some real diamonds. Go get you some real motherfucking real shit. You know, go buy you some real shit. Shit that you don't have to buy 2-3 times. Shit that you only need to buy once in your lifetime. Go buy you some real jackets. Go buy you some real shoes that all you got to do is buy the shoes one time and then keep, you know, go to the cobbler and get them cleaned and get them, you know, get them shined and shit like that. Go get them repaired. If something happens, you can go take the shit back to Louis Vuitton. You can go take the shit back to Gucci and get that shit replaced or repaired for free because you bought it from the reputable company. Goofies. So it's like, stop with all the bullshit. Because if you're seeing this video, then that means you got the mind, you got the potential, and you know what you want to do. And you know where you want to go with your life, in your finances. You want to get the money. You just don't know how to stop spending your money. If you're trading and you're losing, sit the fuck back. Stop trading. Start studying. Look up reputable traders who were trading in the 70s and the 80s, who write books, who give you the game. Yeah, it's an investment. Don't invest your money and put it on accounts and prop firm accounts and this, that, and the third. And let me tell you something. Let me go on that real fast, real quick. The reason why I don't fuck with the prop firms is the rules. I don't need anybody telling me that I only have this certain limit of daily drawdown because stocks have volatility. Futures have volatility. And you could be in a good position, but your volatility, the natural volatility of the market on one particular day could knock you and blow your account up because you have already moved down past your drawdown, and that shit counts against you. Like, what? So what you're telling me is this, in essence, and I haven't traded any props, but reading the rules, reading this plethora of rules, like, what the fuck? You can do this, you can only do that. Like, your daily drawdown limit will kill your account, and then you have to go in and buy a new challenge? What the fuck? Based off of something that you cannot control? You gotta be crazy, man. You gotta be crazy. Or you train with tight stops. You train with tight stops, and your risk is like you only putting in like shit. You putting in like 0.001% of your total account balance. Like, you're gonna be on that challenge for a long time, based on the rules that they offer. Now, if you're a good trader and you know what you're doing, and you're gonna use these prop firms as your income, as your job, once you're good like that, then I understand if you want to use prop firms. If you're a good motherfucker and you got 5 or 10 accounts. I know some dudes that got 30 accounts across the whole prop firm landscape, and they got all that shit linked. And guess what? Those accounts copy trade off one main account. One main account will put the trade in, the other accounts will copy it instantly, like that. You can set it up like that, and that's their paycheck. And they do it, and they got a whole nother life they live. Once they see the trade, they take it, and they know it spreads across all their accounts, and they go on about their day. They do their other shit. But me, I'm in the game all day long and all night long. That's just how I like to play the game. I like to play the game. I like to learn it. I'm mastering it. I want to know every nuance of how my instrument trades. I want to know how I want to know every dollar of range over the course of a day, the week, the month, the year, of how UJ and Yen trade. Well, UJ trades. So that's why I trade the way I trade, because I want to master my shit. And then once I master it until a point where I'm like, all right, boom, I done built up 10, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, $100 million, $150 million off of trading USD JPY. Then I'm gonna move on and start really like, okay, I might choose oil. I might get into tangible things to, invest my money in. But for me, having done so many entrepreneurial things in my lifetime, I'm kind of like past tangible investing. I'm kind of past that shit. Like, I'm kind of past, owning a business. That shit nothing to me. That shit ain't nothing to me but overhead and dealing with bullshit for real. I don't want to own a business. I just want to diversify my money and make sure my money is at work in every instrument that's passive, like bonds and treasuries and all kind of debt and doing shit like that, like where it's just a cavalcade of checks and deposits going into my different accounts. Like, that's what I believe in. I believe in all passive investing and passive money making. I don't believe in, I've done a lot of stuff. I was in the military. I've done a lot of stuff, man. So I done did all my motherfucking back-breaking work. I ain't about to be showing up and showing out every day at some office and doing this and that and the third. Hell no. Because it's too many passive investments that you can do and put your money to work. You could deploy your money anywhere in the world. So that's my advice to you, man. My advice is to all you fucking gurus, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck off the internet. Get the fuck off YouTube. Stop steering people and stop motherfucking with this fake ass shit, man. Because y'all have bastardized the trading game. And you especially making niggas look bad. You're making black people look bad. You understand? And that's what niggas do. Niggas always go in somewhere that we wasn't in, and we go in, we fuck it up, we niggerize the shit, and you know what I'm saying? And we dumb it down, and because we dummies. Niggas is dummies. I'm not saying black people are dummies. I'm saying you niggas are dummies. That's what's going on. It's you niggas. You got dudes out here that's trading that want to look like rappers, and it's like, shut man, go sit the fuck down and pay your taxes. Because once you get big and everybody knows you on the internet, but Uncle Sam know you ain't paying no taxes and you riding around and you got chains on and you got this going and you got that going and you acting like you a rap star or you acting like you some kind of, you know what I'm saying, some kind of rock star, whatever the fuck you niggas out here want to be. Like, stop with that goofy ass shit. There's too much goofy shit going on. There's too much goofy shit, man. In 2026, let's kill all the goofiness, man. We got to kill all the goofiness for real. We got to kill this goofy shit, man. Because the goofy shit is just like, bro, you guys are just falling deeper and deeper in the hole. Stop trading. Stop doing broke ass shit. Stack your money up. Invest your money in books. Invest your money in seminars. Invest your money in shit that's going to teach you the macroeconomic game to where you understand the game, to where you understand it to where all you got to do is hear it. A lot of times, I don't even watch the chart. If I get in and my position is, and I know where the fuck is going, like for real, when you're watching your instrument and you understand your instrument that you trading, you know what the fuck going on. You don't got to sit there and watch that shit. Like a lot of times I'll put my play in and I might rest my head. I might lay down. I might exercise. I might do some other shit. You know, instead of just sitting in front of my chart, I'll periodically check it on a mobile device if I don't have to be in front of the big screen, you know what I'm saying, getting a full view of what's going on. You know, and this video is 1 hour and 6 minutes long right now. And I appreciate you if you still here. But this cold game, man, I just had to get this shit off my chest, off my mind. Because it's like, man, what the fuck? You know, then you got all these gurus getting exposed and fake trades and, you know, fake accounts and demo accounts. Oh, it's all demo accounts. It's all demo accounts, for real. It's all demo accounts, bro. It's all demo accounts. Most of these motherfuckers is on demo accounts, especially when they show you the money. Man, listen, most guys and girls that's really out here in finance and they're trading and they're doing stuff, you're not going to know how much money they have. You'll get some information from them, but they're not going to tell you that it's an easy game. They're not going to tell you that you can get rich. They're not going to tell you any of that shit. Because when I tell you have to be a money manager, you have to be a motherfucking real money manager. And if you don't have any money management skills, get you some money management skills. Stop trading, stop taking unnecessary losses, getting in and out, following this goofy and following that goofy. Stop trading, invest in books, invest in money management, invest in yourself, invest in your health, and then you'll be able to start building your wealth. You know, that's the only way you can start building your wealth, is if you invest in yourself, invest in your brain, and invest in your brand and shit, you know, and trading and investing and learning. That's the only way you're going to build anything. You're not going to build anything any other kind of way, you know. That's my take on this shit. Shut the fuck up and trade. You know, and I'm not talking to you guys who are not talking. I'm talking to you gurus. I'm talking to you wannabes. I'm talking to all of you motherfuckers out there trading on demo accounts. And my face is on my motherfucking profile, on my profile picture on YouTube. I don't have any other social media accounts. I don't have nothing else on social media except YouTube, you know. Figure out a way to build you a YouTube channel with real shit, with comedy, with something that, you know, can relax somebody, with ASMR, you know, create other content. Stop creating content that, you know, drives people into losing. You know, create content that drives people into winning, you know. Stop with the bullshit, man. And that's my advice to the gurus and to the wannabes and to the fakers. Shut the fuck up and trade, especially if you in that game. Shut the fuck up and trade. And to all of you who's trying to figure it out, take your time, because you ain't going to get it overnight. And don't use anybody else's strategy. Build your own strategy. Learn how to use indicators, EMAs, SMAs, MACD, volume weighted, VWAP. Learn how to use all these different indicators. Learn about them. You don't have to put them all on your chart. You don't want more than 3 indicators on your chart. If you got indicators, you don't want more than 3. And don't tailor them to where it gives you a signal every time. Utilize the motherfucker how they got it. And, you know, if you need to tweak it, you need to tweak it. But if you're not creating some kind of automatic trading algorithm. You don't have to create your own mathematical algorithm or a mathematical structure to, you know, impute the numbers and calculate the numbers and give you trade signals. You don't have to do that shit. You can use MACD just how they got it. These people created that shit, and Steve Wyckoff and all these other people, they did all this shit so you don't have to. All of the masters that came before you, they did it so you don't have to. So utilize this stuff how they created it and how they already have it. That way you'll get you know, it'll come better for you. It'll be better for you to use it like that. You'll get real signals. You'll get, you know, you'll just get it real, man. You'll get it raw and real. And I'm kind of like, you know, I'm at a loss for words. Like I said, I have communication dyslexia. You know, I'm not always as eloquent. My mind is eloquent, but my words, my verbiage is not always as eloquent as I would like it to be. But in my mind, it's, you know, it's swimming around there, you know, like an MIT professor. It's up there together, but it comes out scrambled. But that's my advice, man. You know, learn how to use this stuff. Study, man. And you don't have to get out the market, but just study. So that way, when you're in the market, you know, you'll have a better insight on what you're doing. And you'll be learning the language and you'll understand. You got to have fundamental mixed with technical analysis. You can't just be a fundamental trader. You can be a fundamental trader just if you have a Bloomberg, but you'll be long-term trading. You'll be doing long-term moves. You'll be monthly trading. You'll be trading leaps options and shit like that when you're just using straight information. But if you like to use charts, you gotta use data sets. You gotta use the information that comes out. It's just, that's the way of the game. That's the way it is. So, you know, that's the best advice I can give you guys. That's the best thing I can tell you as far as trading goes. You gotta study. You gotta learn it. You gotta fucking learn it, man. There's no easy way about it. And it's gonna take you fucking years. It's gonna take you years because once you have your aha, and you're gonna have millions of ahas. I've had fucking 500 ahas in a month. This month alone in December, I've had 500 ahas and 500 I've had 1,000, you know, light bulb clicks. I've had my eureka moments. You got a eureka moment every day. That's the one thing about it. You're going to always have eureka moments. It's something new all the time. It's never going to stop. You're never going to just sit back on your laurels. And if you think that's what the game is, go get a fucking job. Go get a motherfucking job and be a cog in the wheel. Be a Spracely Sprocket. Shout out CGA. Be a motherfucker that, you know, just builds somebody else's wealth. Like for me, I'm not helping nobody else build their dream. I'm not helping nobody else's dreams come true. I want my dreams to come true. I want the shit that I want in my life to come true. And the only way to do it is to just do it on your own. There's no other way to do it to me. So I appreciate everybody who's, you know, watching this and, you know, leave a comment or whatever. If you want to have a conversation, if you don't like what I said, fuck you. If you like what I said, take my advice, man. You know, take my advice. Ask me a question. I'm going to give you a real answer. I'm going to direct you and point you in a way where to somebody I know for sure. You know, understand that I learn from. I only learn from reputable people. Like if they don't have a long reputation, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to listen to you. I don't. And yeah, sometimes I get on these gurus comment section and I blast they motherfucking ass. And I tell them like, man, shut the fuck up. You know, and I tell them you sound stupid. Like you sound stupid. These people are trying to get you to do something because these companies are paying them to try to get you to do it. And that's it. That is it, man. So shut the fuck up and trade. You know, if you're a guru. But if not, I appreciate your time. And, you know, I'm going to get back to posting and, you know, shit like that in 2026. You know, so I love all the channels that I watch. I ain't going to shout you out right now, but, you know, if I leave a comment and you see my ugly mug on it, you know, from Aberrana Trading Network, or you'll see my name, it'll just say Aberrana, Abarana. You understand? That's my name. That's the name that's on my trade. That's my company name. You understand? So I appreciate all your time. Leave me a comment. Leave me a question. Tell me, fuck you, whatever it is. Whatever you got to say. Peace out.